Well, the moment we've all been waiting for, right? The results of the test. We started at the beginning of the summit, we launched this test, and now we actually get to see how it performs. Do I have a clicker, John, or are you going to be controlling the slides? You got them? Okay, awesome. Well, you've seen the updates throughout the summit. We were at, I believe, 93% confidence level last update. Just by show of hands, how many of you, I'll just put it on the line here, think we reached validity? Raise your hand. How many of you think we didn't reach validity? Raise your hand. Okay, so we have a little bit more of a kind of a positive audience here today. Well, here's the control again. Go back. Let's go next slide. And we were trying to improve this control. Just to remind you, we're trying to improve the control. We hypothesized that potentially adding urgency into the treatment would improve conversion. Next slide. So here's the treatment we created, right? We just changed the headline. We just changed the image. And our test design was a 50-50 split. We said, forget the blog audience treatment. Here they are side by side, and now let's actually get to the results. All right, next slide. Okay, what you see here is actually the traffic. If you remember, we actually sent an email send out. Aaron, can you explain these visuals here for just a minute?
Right, so if you guys remember, the way we're getting traffic into the test was by an email send as well as some social media pushes. What actually ended up happening was of the about 2,500 unique visits that we got into the test, I would say I think it's 2,400 of those were from the email send. So you can see initially when we first launched the test, traffic's very high and kind of started to taper off, especially overnight. You see that's where the first big dip is. In the morning, got a little bit of a spike then, and now throughout the day we've been seeing it taper off.
Don't go to the next slide. On the next slide are the results of the test. But before we go to, I just want to say this. Did you guys see the conversion rate on those pages? Have you guys seen those? What the actual conversion performance of those pages? It's above 60%. Is that not crazy? That means almost 1 in every 2 people are downloading. So what challenge does that present in this test? Anyone know? Someone say saturated? Yeah. Exactly. You've taken the LPO course, haven't you? Right. So these people are highly motivated. They're coming in. They want this download. 60% conversion rate. That's pretty high. That's a particular challenge for optimizing a page, because if you're that motivated, you're going to overcome like a lot of friction, a lot of anxiety. You could add maybe 20 form fields and you're still going to overcome that. You could maybe not be so clear about the value and you're going to work harder to figure out what is actually valuable. So you guys actually had a pretty, I was actually surprised by those conversion rates. You guys had a decent challenge. So without further ado, let's look at the results. John? Oh wait, these are the results to some degree. This is actually what the performance was for the 2 pages. The red is your treatment. And I just want to say this, these are clean results. Last year we did this, I don't know if you guys were here, they weren't this clean. We had a bunch of diamonds and crisscrosses and we had a lot of validity threats, but these are some of the cleanest results you can get. Now go to the next slide. What does it all mean? You guys improved conversion by 6.8% at a 97% confidence level. Give yourself a hand, that was awesome. Good job, good job. Now we got a lift, so go to the next slide, John. Next slide for me. This is the winner. We added urgency, we got the lift, did we get the learning? Next slide. What did we learn? One more. Well, communicating urgency in the offer actually provided some level of incentive, some level of value that get more conversion. A 7% increase in conversion. I don't know if you saw that. It ranged anywhere between 60% and 90%. A 7% increase in conversion on a 60% conversion rate already, or 7% increase. That's phenomenal, guys. You guys did a great job. That is the test. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. It's not as hard or as difficult as it looks to run a test, particularly if you're using something like HubSpot's test platform. We're at the final session. This was been a pretty interactive day, but we're going to end with another highly interactive session. I know that some people have actually rearranged their flights to get in this last session. So without further ado, we're looking at your pages. We're going to be pulling up pages up on the screen. Without further ado, I want to introduce Dr. Flint McLaughlin.